I think that people overcomplicate, myself included. And what business, and I've done this, and I'm trying to do it less and less and less, but people overcomplicate shit. Like when I started running companies 15 years ago, if I had started with Windows, I've got absolutely no idea, no doubt that I'd be 10 times wealthier than I am now, just cleaning Windows, just executing that properly.
I just look, sometimes I look at it with the complexity of building technology and the complexity of building what we build. I'm like, wow, I would really love the idea of doing something simple and then applying, kind of business acumen to something simple to give it scale.
Morning, Rich.
Morning, Doug.
Of the stuff we spoke about off camera, what percentage of that stuff is viable for this pod? It's 0, isn't it?
No, I don't think we should be 0. How can we be authentic podcasters if we don't give a slithery window into the disasters that hit us as entrepreneurs? I mean, look at these bags. That gives you an idea.
Yeah. How much exercise have you done in the last 2 weeks?
Psychological exercise more than ever. Physical exercise, pacing, I think. No running, pacing. We've got wooden floors at home. They're a little bit shinier in certain parts, I think.
So you have been through a pretty rough couple of weeks. What, if anything, can we say?
I think we can say that when you, as an entrepreneur and as a leader and as a business owner, are facing a series of incredible circumstances, personally and professionally, and you're just thinking, when is this ever going to get better? When is this ever going to improve? That you do take the time to sit down and go, ooh, do I need some help here in either way, personal or professional, instead of doing the keep calm and carry on bullshit Brit attitude that I had of, no, I got it. I'm going to push. So yeah, bit of introspection and a bit of recognition where you might be dropping some balls or not necessarily covering things as you should. Remove any pride or ego. Hope you can hear my doorbell. I think it's the boiler man. I think so, yes. Welcome.
That's your parent. You're visiting your parents.
I'm visiting my parents, yeah.
Whose decision was that doorbell? That is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my life. It went on for about 40 seconds.
The best thing is about it, they've got it in the lounge. There's obviously a lot of. Dad's pretty much deaf, so I think that's probably why they've got it in the lounge. But I'm glad that happened. So yeah, introspection, reflection. I know everybody says this, and just swallow any ego or anything and just ask for support, so that you don't get into the tricky situations I've been in the past 3 or 4 weeks.
And we're not going to get into those tricky situations, but the point about the support is, and the point about just saying, I am fucked. I need to just step back for a bit and just get some other people to help me is a good one, because a lot of people just grind themselves into the dust and then they're done. Aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm pretty damn resilient. I know that I've been smacked a few times and got back up. But I think this time I was, I just didn't, I wasn't acknowledging the fact that the personal stuff that we were going through was really, really challenging. And then the direct correlation and impact that had on my capability to do my job as effectively as I have done, the past decade. So I think that's the biggest thing, but we're coming through it. The conversations have been had, plans have been made, feel very supportive, feel like I can support other people. So I'm feeling positive for the next little stretch, if you will.
That's good. I've got a doorbell story for you. It reminded me of it. So I had my handyman Clint comes around yesterday.
Clint.
Yeah. Phenomenal. I'm not going to give anyone his details because I do not want anyone to take up this guy's.
What does Clint do for you? So where does your DIY stop?
This boy can do everything in your house. Right? You need a light done, you need a room painted, you need paving done. He is a Swiss Army knife of shit in your house.
I'd love to be able to do that.
One of my ideas today is going to take us down that path. But the doorbell story, Clint's in the gaff. Our doorbell hasn't been working for 3.5 years. So that is
procrastination on another level. That's a bit like the stuff I do.
the
Like, just
Deliveroo
won't get
guy,
to it.
because the Deliveroo guy, the Amazon guys, they come in and they're just having to knock, and that's not ideal, but it is fine. So it's not a burning problem. I said,
No.
Clint, me doorbell's not working. Can you? Because I've got this list of all the shit he needs to do. He's looking at it. I'm like, what? Can you sort that out? Yes, Doug, we can sort that out. I'm going to need to change the batteries in the little box. This box that wire goes to, that is obvious, that batteries have run out. So we're going to change that. So that's the level of my DIY capability.
It's the lack of investigation that I like. It's like, it broke. And now I'm going to go and run a company with 35, 40 people. But batteries, cannot. It's like, it's funny.
We just park it in a box over there.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that, to be honest.
Yeah. I just don't want to give it any mental space. I've got 2 ideas for you, though.
Excellent.
The first one. So we need to get the windows in our house cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
They're grimy as fuck. So going around looking for window cleaning companies in Southend, and the pricing is a joke. Yeah, like, what would you think? You've been to my house. What would you think it would cost to clean the front and back windows in my house?
So we pay £55 for him to come once every. What do we pay? 55, and he comes every 3 months.
Does he do? Your house is a fair bit bigger than mine, fair to say?
We've got 13, 14 windows. It's all south facing, so it's end of terrace, all south facing. I'm fairly certain we've cut it now though. But each time he came, I'm pretty certain it was around 50 quid.
Do you not think that we would enjoy just setting up a window cleaning business, just called like, bear with me windows?
Bear with me, your windows.
And we just set up. Lucky. You get, your 200-300 clients, and we just drive around in a van, charging 50 quid for 15 minutes work. Would that be fun, or would that just be shit?
I think it would be shit for the first 2 years until you got an army of people to do it for you, and me and you could sit in the depot doing videos.
I think that people overcomplicate, myself included. And what business, and I've done this, and I'm trying to do it less and less and less, but people overcomplicate shit. Like, when I started running companies 15 years ago, if I had started with Windows, I've got absolutely no idea, no doubt that I'd be 10 times wealthier than I am now, just cleaning windows, just executing that properly.
But I just look, sometimes I look at it with the complexity of building technology and the complexity of building what we build. I'm like, wow, I would really love the idea of doing something simple and then applying, kind of business acumen to something simple to give it scale. Like I had a partner in kind of about 10 years ago. A family was in the Midwest, was in water, like a water fact, like basically bottled water. I was like, wow, you're crushing it across this area. You do really well for yourself. You've got a great life. You've got like 10 trucks. Collingwood Water is what it was called. And they just focus on water treatment, bottling, and servicing offices and people. It's just so straightforward.
I think that if someone came to me now that was, just starting their business career, I would just say, do something so simple it's a joke that a 10-year-old could understand it. Execute it properly for 5 years and you'll have all the money you ever need.
I don't know whether that's just us feeling a little bit warned by the complexity of the industries that we're in, because they are really nuanced, and we are working with, we work with innovation constantly, right? So it never stops. We're always having to learn, and that keeps us fresh and everything, but it does get a little bit tiring. Sometimes it would be great if there's a mainstay legacy industry or service that you could innovate on, but the core business doesn't really shift too much. I think would be tremendously interesting. Like if I was to consider what I would do after Mahara, I would probably want to apply all of the things that I've learned about business management and business administration and growth and sales and recruitment and all those kind of things that you learn as a founder and then a CEO. and then find an industry where I could, I don't know, really affect some change, probably.
I think the level of simplicity, trying to overlay that into the type of businesses that we have is also possible to some degree, making them simpler, way simpler in terms of the proposition, the offering, how you operate is one way to create that simplicity. So I'm kind of looking at the moment. So we're looking at the like marketing pros, the recruitment or the, we don't call it recruitment, the finding people for companies. And we're just going hyper niche in terms of the type of person, the type of company, because it just makes everything so much easier.
I used to think about, this is turning into a bit of a woe me session, isn't it? I used to, because I was a teacher for so long, like I used to just rock up to work, enjoy my job and finish it. And then I'd go, when I worked in Thailand, I'd just go and sit by the pool, 4:30, just chill for a couple of hours, mates would come over, watch a bit of Heroes or whatever it was that was around then, God, 15 years ago. And there was never a struggle really anywhere. And I think I've been in the struggle so long. I had a divorce in 2020. That was a brutal, brutal time. Lindsay and I got together. Things really, really improved. We did a lot of travel. And then we kind of hit that post-COVID, just nobody's spending anything. And we had to fight through that. And then we had the recent things that you know about, which have been really challenging, that will no doubt come out. It just feels like for 4 years, it's been a bit of a grind. So I don't think it's truly representative of my optimism or my belief in the business, but I think it's just a bit like, I want to go and dig some roads.
Love it. That's a great outro. You need to know where the fuck you're going. It's the guy at the name on that t-shirt.
All right, cheers, mate.
Nice one, Rich.
Bye.